we're going to cover modifications to the bolt. Now, when the guns were converted with the magazine system, they had to make some changes to the bolt. And the first very obvious one is, if you look at this bolt handle here in this area, it's just flat. But if you look at this one, there is this angled cut right here, like a chamfer or an angle. Okay, so when you open the bolt on this gun, it just rotates and opens up. But if you look at this here, you can see there's a bit of metal here which is part of this receiver extension. And when you rotate this, the cutout cams down on this piece of metal. I'll get the bolt out and show you better. On this right down in here, it cams on this surface. So this part of the receiver extension right here, this little thing marries up to that, and that's what cams it out. That is the first and obvious difference and modification to the bolt. Now I'll get the other one out. We'll look at the two side by side, an 1870 and an 87, and we'll look at the other differences. Okay, here are two bolts. This is the older one, 1870 single shot. This is the 7087. Now they said they changed the extractors. Not so much the width of them, but the length of this extractor from here to the end. In other words, the length of this section. This one, 780 thousandths, and this one here, the length from there to there, 610 thousandths. So the extractors are different. They will not interchange. Another thing is there's a groove here on the bolt. Hope you can see it, that groove right in there. They widened this groove considerably. You can see that one's huge compared to this one on the top. And that's all part of getting this to function with the magazine. They widened this ejector groove in there. Also, it looks like they've machined and welded a face, a little support area on the bolt to help support the cartridge and that feeding, probably for feeding also, where this bolt does not have it. It is plain. So this was an addition put on there. There's two of them side by side. So you see the bolts are different. And then yet when they converted them to 6.5, they modified the bolts again. So there was some modifications to the bolt. They still disassemble the same, I believe. I do not know, and that looks like, I was wondering how they did it. They machined it out and then either soldered it or something on there, brazed it on. So that was added on, and then this groove was widened. It looks like they come apart. We'll take a look at the firing pins here. Let me get them apart and see if there's any. They didn't mention it in the book, which no, it doesn't look like it. These things look the same. So the striker firing pin thing wasn't modified. So that's about it. Groove, cam notch, and then added this cartridge support onto the face of the bolt. So with these modifications, you cannot use an older style bolt in the 7087 rifle. And also, I believe they said they widened the ejector port in the receiver. They made it longer or wider or something. They enlarged it a little bit to help with feeding. So that's the other difference there, is the bolt modifications. And that's about it for that topic.